Florida, where we broadcasted some shows this week. I appreciate you being here with us. We're here in this edition of the Dolphin Dive with Jeff Lonczak because Jeff is reliable. He's incredible. He's been a great friend throughout the years. And when the water isn't right, Jeff, we still find a way to swim. The Dolphin Dive here, Jeff Lonczak, Moyne men's and women's tennis head coach inside the 2024-25 season. All I know, Jeff, and you know this, and I know this off the air, is that there's things in worse shape than my Jaguars. How you doing, Jeff?
Yeah, I totally understand what we were saying, Dan, and you're 100% right. I'm just honored to be on the show as usual.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on the show as well. So, I mean, we've talked about the season. We went through different pieces of the season here for 2024-25, and we've talked about the fact of the Division One teams that you would go up against, and how even in Division Two you would test yourself. So the non-conference schedule, not too crazy, not too different in that respect, but what has it been like for you in this transition? Because I know we kind of talked about scheduling and whatnot, but you personally, you signed up as a Division Two men's and women's tennis coach, and then it became Division One. I know you're a competitor. I don't see you as a whatever division coach. I see you as Jeff Lonczak. But what have you learned about yourself?
You got to compete every day, Dan. I mean, that's single match is tough. There's no easy, nothing's given to you. So, I mean, in terms of our practice, we have to make it effective, with our time constraints. We have to be able to focus after a Saturday match against a tough team to another one on Sunday where it could be even a better team. So, I mean, it's just a constant level of focus, on and off the court that really we try to abide by.
Yeah, and like you said, just a different level of focus, a constant level of focus. What's practice been like, and how does that kind of gel with the transition?
Oh, it's been tough. The women are at 6 a.m. and the men are at 7:30. So I mean, we do our best to make sure that they're as effective as they can be. We try to get everybody there all the time. The thing that I've done more of this year than any year, and will continue to, is individual work on the side. So, for instance, I get this 9 to 10 where I don't have practice, but once 10 o'clock hits, I'm picking up a guy or a girl. We're working one-on-one or two-on-one type of thing, usually until 2 o'clock. So that's when the courts kind of get difficult. So yeah, I mean, the individual aspect of it daily has grown, and I think it'll only continue to grow.
And like you said, you have a certain amount of time to yourself after practice, and then you're working out with somebody one-on-one and whatnot. How often do your student athletes take up that opportunity to have that extra time with you after their 6 a.m. practice or 7:30 a.m. practice? How often do you have these one-on-one opportunities?
Yeah, I'm able to get about 15 hours a week, I would say, individually. Not per person, obviously, but 15 hours total where, I'll say 6 or 7 people kind of take advantage of that opportunity. And it's always balancing on court sheets. I mean, to be frank, there isn't always court times available. So, I mean, we do a balancing act with that. NCAA says, hey, you guys got 20 hours that you can practice per week on the individual level, combined, like obviously matches practice and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible to hit just because of indoor court time scarcity in Syracuse, So, I mean, we do our best to get there, and the proof is in the pudding, I mean, you could see results from the males and females that are taking that extra time. The challenges are there at our indoor facility. So, I mean, for instance, like basically the courts are cleaned every single day. So it's almost a situation where we're bouncing around court to court, I see these things at matches that, I can kind of figure out ways to make. We always kind of learned pretty quickly that the position is something that you figure out on your own regularly, and almost every decision that you make, is kind of a sole decision. So I mean, I think I've gotten better at that. I'm making deals with operations to try to get the best deal that we can on our tennis courts. So I mean, I guess the thing that I've gotten better at, maybe it's not maybe not an additional tool, but maybe it's like an extension to a tool,
Okay.
is flexibility. That's about it.
Yeah, and being flexible and doing different things. I mean, you're a GM of sorts, right? Because you talk about fundraising person and whatnot. So, how have you worked in that area where head coaches, in a lot of cases now in college, are also general managers?
Our hours of production. Like, what time am I actually a coach? And a friend of mine actually said that he was a tennis coach less than 10% of the time because he's doing all those other things, and those other things are complete. In retrospect, what we've been doing is good, but at the end of the day, maybe the way we did it wasn't always great. So I guess, but that's me on my ivory tower, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, I mean, you got Caleb Williams, year number 2. People worry about the sophomore slump. He
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, they look at all these metrics about him and the fact that he was set quarterback by far, but they actually said that his protection wasn't as bad as kind of the sack rate. So a lot of those sacks, I think he was causing on his own. I liked his turnover rate. He didn't really turn the ball over yards pretty
yeah
much on a dime. Um, we'll see. I think the talent is there. I think the tools are there. I think hopefully Johnson can kind of foster those things and make him the best version of himself. Because I think that's what it's going to come down to with the guy. It's that age old scenario where these number one picks, like, okay, like Tim Couch, like, oh man, this guy's great, and then you put him with the Browns, and it's like, okay, well, they destroy him. All these guys in the past that kind of ended up in difficult situations. Williams. It's not going to be Caleb Williams so much. It's going to be the pieces they put around him in terms of administration, coaching, and players.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's a team that we could see, 7-10, but it's a team that we could also see be a potential playoff team. They were the team that was on the outside looking in. The Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings all made the playoffs this past season. Do you think the NFC North? Do they oust one of the NFC North teams this year? Do all 4 teams make it? How do you see it this time around?
Gosh, I mean, I'd say if they are going to announce the team, I'm thinking maybe the Vikings. I mean, and I'm a Michigan fan, so I mean, having JJ starting, which I think is what they're going to try to do, is but yeah. So let's hope the Vikings have a slide.
Yeah, so that code here from Jeff Lonczak here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this edition of the Dolphin Dive in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Moyne College Dolphins inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. To spin back to tennis here for a second, if you could play tennis with any 3 players all time, living or who would you play with and why? Like if you had a doubles challenge, who would be your partner and who would you play against?
Who actually passed away 3 months ago. He was kind of an instrumental figure as a mentor for me and hundreds of, if not thousands of other people. Just share a couple minutes of time with him, and then I'd probably let Federer, Nadal, and Berrettini pretty badly.
Okay. So for you, before we jump into rapid fire, to look back on this season and to look at what you've been able to do and what continues to happen. We've spoken about the men's team having success recently, the women's team trying to come on. How do you see them interact with each other? Because you're the coach of both, right? So in order to coach the both and coach the both well, you, in this Division One evolution for Lemoyne, you now can have them at matches together. Like they could do certain things together in the past, but it was like one team would be in one place, one team would be in another place. So you had to pick and choose because you couldn't be in 2 places at once. Now that the schedule in Division One allows you to coach both of your teams and to have these events where if you're playing a Cornell or a Colgate or St. Bonnie, whatever, that you have your men's and women's team there. What does that do for the student athletes and what does it do for you?
Yeah, I mean the experience for the student athletes, I think, is way better. The support that they're able to give and receive from each other is huge. I mean, the women, a lot of times the men maybe let's say they have kind of like a one-off match, like Youngstown State comes to town, women don't have the match the other day, they'll show up and make sure that they're there to support. And same thing for the men. I mean, they do that with the women. I think that is just it's just massive for us. I mean, you know, that's another like D1 piece that kind of gets forgotten a little bit. Like is the bench like it's important. Like so our guys like and girls like if they're not locked in, focused on what's going on with their teammates, it's seen, it's heard, and it's understood by the other team. So with that comes a level of confidence that other team has because their team's cheering and the other team isn't. So I mean it's so huge for us in having both support perspective.
Yeah, because in Division Two, the women would have the bulk of their season opposite the men, and so there wasn't that like overlap. Now we look at a schedule, and if the men are playing someone, typically the women have that same match, and vice versa. So for you to not have it be so separate and to have it align more together, like you said, it's good for the student athlete. But what does it do for you, being the head coach of two? I mean, you're overseeing two programs. Most coaches in the world have one program, and that's their job, and that's what they're doing. You have more of these student athletes because you have both programs. You're responsible for both programs. You're the figurehead of both programs. So for you to be able to align their seasons together, what does it do for you personally?
I mean, it makes it a little bit easier, I guess. The challenge comes when, like like you said, some schools will have a head men's coach and a head women's coach. So I mean, aligning schedules with them can be tricky. Just to have them all in one place with each other, like learning from each other is the big thing. You know, me, like I'm in a position where I get to from my one of my players is from Israel, or another one of my players is from India, and I've had to move things because hey, this I've never missed this religious ceremony in my life. Like okay, well, to New Jersey later without traveling on the bus, so you can do that. So I mean, that piece for me is so huge, and that's the part we kind of forget about as coaches. It's just how important the the individual is, and with us all together, I think it just makes us collectively better as a group, and then individually better too.
That coming from Jeff Lonczak, the head coach at Moyne Dolphins men's and women's tennis, here inside the 2024-25 season, inside of the Dolphin Dive on Wake Up Call from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We're jumping into rapid fire. Jeff, throw me on the hot seat. What do you got?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Give me a good over under number for Soto for home runs.
This year, I'm going to say 40. 40.
Okay. Do the Mets make the playoffs? Sorry. That's
Yes.
fast.
Yes, the Mets make the playoffs.
Do the Mets make the playoffs? Sorry.
Yep.
Ah, all right. All
Yes.
right. All right.
My question back to you. Okay, so I'm a Diamondback fan. So do the Diamondbacks make the playoffs, and how far do they go this year, if they do?
With, sorry to bring it down, but with that NL West, I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I mean, it's gonna be tough. But I'm gonna say no.
Actually dropped during that part for those of you that
Technical difficulties. Okay, okay. So yeah, I mean, what what changes do you see being made with your Jags? I guess coaching and front office after this year.
they should hire me to be a general manager. I did a project on it when I was a junior in high school. I think I would have been better then. I think I would be better now. No offense to the general manager that they just hired, but they made the same bad decisions with a new general manager that they made with the old general managers. So I don't really understand what changed. And again, it's no offense to him. I mean, he's coming in and whatever, he's new. But they seem to only like draft picks that are in the 6th and 7th round. They gave up a starter for nothing. They gave up another starter, sent them in division for a 7th round pick so they could face him twice a year. Allegedly, they were looking at potentially getting rid of Trevor Lawrence. So I would say that what should the Jaguars do? Hire me. What will I do? get rid of the negativity in the front office and the bureaucracy of the front office. And then I would get back to being a mom and pop place, get back to be a family place, get back to caring about people, valuing people, and treating people with respect, especially those who have blood, sweat, and tears been with you through everything. I think those of us that have seen the worst days for the Jaguars should be the ones that are uplifted the most. So I would change probably most of the front office. And I'd sit down with Shad Khan and say, do you know that everybody that goes out and has a Jaguar on their chest and works for you is a representation of you? So if you're okay with those representation pieces that you have right now, fine. But anyone would know it's lipstick on a pig if you keep your same team in the front office or on the field or whatever. If you keep your same team and there are problems on that team and you expect it to get better, that's not the case. So I would say, if somebody works for me, they're the front doorstep of my business. And I think that it would benefit him and the Jaguars for someone to work for them that knows them, appreciates them, loves them, fears God, respects people. And I think if I worked for the Jacksonville Jaguars, we would make some immediate changes. And they could hire me right now with a couple weeks before the draft, and I bet you that I'd do something cool. I bet you that I would. So
I love that.
thank you. My question back to you, if you were going to send me on vacation, because you know how much some people pay me and I'm severely underpaid. So if you were going to send me on vacation somewhere and pay me what I'm worth, where would you send me, Jeff, and why?
Oh, well, that's easy. I have a recruiting trip, but hey, it's a recruiting trip for me. But we could make it a vacation for you. I'm actually going to Managua, Nicaragua, for like a 6 or 7 day tournament with a friend of mine who coaches a bunch of kids out there to meet him. So I just bring you along with me, man.
All right, Nicaragua, I like that. It's the best thing that's been said to me up on
I figured you would.
No, I definitely would. No one else on the Heights has offered me a trip to Scranton, so I'll take Nicaragua. What is your final question for me?
Oh, well, that's easy. Okay, so who do you got? Houston, Duke, Auburn, Florida, and then give me the finals.
Okay. I got Florida on one side. I got Duke on the other side. I really want Houston to win. I've covered Kelvin Sampson and the Cougars, and I feel like they've been knocking on the door for like the past 3 or 4 years. So I really, really, really want Houston to win. And I also very much respect John Shire and what Duke is doing. So I'm going to say Duke in Florida, and I'm going to say Duke 87-69.
Yeah, I know that Duke team is wow. I mean, that's wow. Yeah, they're pretty incredible. I get it.
I'm going to send it back to you. I want to know your prediction.
Oh, well, I mean, I picked Houston from the beginning, and I love watching Calvin Sampson in his basketball teams. I just think that the way that he coaches and the way that they get after it in his kind of honor, I guess, is incredible. I love the way our kind of team is probably.
Find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big time thanks to Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, North Carolina. That's 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Head down there, down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course that the PGA knows all too well, and you golf fans know. Well, I'm telling the golf fans, I'm telling people in the community and people everywhere to go get the best sandwich you'll ever have. Brooklyn Pickle, Southern Pines. Go and see them today in North Carolina. And a big time thanks to our incredible team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes, Honda City, as well as Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servomation, Ma and Pa's, Avicoli's Mother's Cupboard, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and Wake Up Call is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Le Moyne College Dolphins. Find the Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we look forward to having you with us with the Dolphins, student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. All of our content's on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Moyne playlist. The Dolphins are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com and fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcats every single month with student athletes, coaches, and administration in what we call the Bobcat Buzz. You can find all of our content on youtube.com. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You can get more information on the Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and find them on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. Wake Up Call is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find Binghamton every Tuesday a.m. Eastern Time, including right now in the special that is currently airing on Facebook and YouTube with our pole vaulters of the women's track and field team of the Bearcats. All of our content's on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist, and of course, you will find your Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com. And as always, go Bearcats. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, God bless, no stress, do your best, don't ever let anyone hold you down. Hear God's words over theirs, and be strong, everybody. You got this. I send you my love.